I'm on my way out.
You're like leaving we just started. You're leaving the show, or?
No. I'm dying.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, they've got to be wrong, right? They've got to be wrong.
Have you ever felt so sad, so alone that you just want to give up? Well, guess what? I have.
You're not alone.
Luckily for you and me, there's a place where we can be absolutely free. Guess what? It's not that bad.
This place of dreams.
So join us and we will take you there on a carpet ride that's full of wonder with the Dr. Fitzpatrick Therapy Talk Show of Dreams.
Hello there, everyone. Thank you for being here on Dr. Fitzpatrick's office. It's so wonderful to see you all at home and you all in person. It's nice to have everybody here in an environment where they feel like they can say whatever they want, because it's hard to find those. And it's not about who disagrees with who. It's just sometimes it's hard to say things. I want to start us off just by saying a little something here before we meet our puppet for today, our lovely patient. This is just a little thing that I found just in the piles of papers and notes and stacks that exist in the new apartment that does belong to me and Dr. Bishop. Life is not about finding yourself; it's about creating yourself. Old George Bernard Shaw said that one. Old Georgie. And I think that one's pretty self-explanatory, but what that means to me more just has to do with expectations and the expectations of who you think you should be. And I have really good news. Unless you're somebody who builds your whole life out of expectations, this might be really bad news, but there are none. So do with that as you will. Once again, thank you everyone for being here. It means a great deal to me. You give me the privilege of being able to have wonderful and fun conversations with puppets. Not everybody gets to do that, so it's pretty cool. Without further ado, I'll stop yapping and I will bring out our next puppet. Very excited for this one today. There's no way for me to introduce this one. Everybody, please give a wonderful round of applause for Professor Buttons.
Hi, Pete.
Hey, Professor, I just wanted to say before I even sit down and start asking you questions, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's beautiful here.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. Everyone who might not be familiar with Professor Buttons, although if you're watching this show, I'm sure you are a little bit. Professor Buttons has run his own show. He is on season 30. Can I get a round of applause? And Professor, I have no business getting into what you do. Please, if you would introduce your show for the audience.
Well, yes, I talk to kids, and I have kids, and I interview them, and they talk to me about what's going on in their lives and troubles that they have, and I use my infinite knowledge, and I help them.
It's really cool. He's got a horse on set, and
Tiffany.
He never rides the horse. Nobody ever rides the horse. The horse isn't for riding. He's just there, which I've always been sort of inspired by.
Well, yes, Tiffany is a friend, not
Tiffany's
a horse.
friend.
Friend first, horse second.
Professor, again, I've been watching you since I was a kid, and it's very, very cool to have you here. I just am very curious, though, as to what I could possibly help you with. You're the best at what we do, so I guess I've got my foot in my mouth. I guess I'm just asking, what's up?
Well, I'm here to tie up some loose ends, I guess. basically, I always say on my show, in case you haven't seen it, I don't like to sugarcoat things. I like to tell it like it is.
Yeah.
And basically, Dr. Fitz, Pete, if I may, I'm on my way out.
You're like leaving we just started. You're leaving the show, or?
No. I'm dying.
What?
I had a few doctor's appointments over the past few years, and they said that I was growing mold in my stuffing, and some puppets do, and they get rid of it, and that's great, but unfortunately, with my age, I just can't fight it anymore.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, they've got to be wrong, right? These doctors don't, like I always say on the show, these doctors, they don't know what they're talking about. They're all medicine men. And, that's why I've got my diploma here. I know what I'm doing. Maybe I can take a look, and maybe I can see, and maybe I can help you, right? I've got all these chemicals somewhere, and I could probably help, right?
I really wish you could. Unfortunately, I'm just too weak. It's been too long, and I'm okay, though. I've come to terms with it.
No, but Professor, it's I can definitely figure something. If you give me a little bit of time, I can do, like, I'm not very good at math, but I can figure something out. I've got a lot of notes in here, and something can probably help you, because that's ridiculous. You can't just.
I don't need help. I'm completely fine. I want to go on my terms now, and I'm okay with it. And I hope that you can find some peace with it too.
But what are like kids around the world supposed to? Your show means a lot to a lot of people.
There are reruns.
Well, sure, and the reruns are great. Trust me. But there's something. Speaking from experience, there's something really special about tuning in and seeing a guy talk to people and actually care.
Well, that's what you do, and that's great. But I never wanted to retire, but I guess now I sort of have to.
Professor, Okay. Okay. Well, maybe I can. Maybe I can help you, right? I have some questions, right? And so, dealing with grief, and so I should just ask those.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you need.
No, it's for you. It's for you.
I'm okay. I told you, I'm making peace with it. I have my beautiful wife and my 2 kids. If you're watching this, you should be asleep right now. that whole bit. But I'm comfortable. I'm not in pain. I'm just a little bit more tired.
Okay. Is your family gonna be taken care of?
Of course they are. I've been working my whole life to make sure that, God forbid, if something happened, which I guess we're a little late for that now, that they wouldn't have to worry, and they don't, and I'm very, very lucky.
And how do you want to spend the time you have left?
That's a good question. I want to be around those who feed me, not like just with food, but I feel like I'm a better person when I'm around them. So people like you, people like my family, the people who are here today who want to give me the opportunity to say my goodbyes. I think I've left so many good things on this earth that will continue to prosper, and I'm happy to watch that for the remaining however long I have. You okay?
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I only know how to do this because I watch your show, and this whole idea was because I wanted to see how puppets were feeling, and I don't know, Professor, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
We need more people like you, Pete. People who put so much of themselves and their feelings on hold just to hold someone else's hand. And just because I'm gone, technically, doesn't mean I'm not all over this place. I mean, every time you have a puppet on, I share so much of what they feel and who they are, and I'm all around. The love that I've felt and that people have given me won't just go away. It'll be everywhere.
I guess you're right.
And I remember there was once a little boy named Pete who had a lot of questions, and I keep every letter that any child has written me. Any puppet, any kid, they're all in a binder, multiple binders, and I actually read yours so many times that I have it memorized, if I may.
Yeah, I guess so.
It read something like, "Hello and welcome, Professor Buttons. I wrote the introduction to the letter that way because that's how you say hi to me when I watch your show. I watch your show all the time when my mom's at work, and it makes me feel like I have a friend all the time, even when I don't really. I like watching when you have kids on to interview because you always give them so much time to speak, and they have a lot of the same problems that I do. Sometimes I don't want to talk about stuff, but you make me feel like I can. You're always helping kids with their problems, but I've been wondering, who helps you with your problems, Mr. Buttons? If you don't have anyone to talk to, I would be happy to try, although I don't know how much help I would be. Thank you for your show. Sincerely, Pete Fitzpatrick." I think about that letter all the time because you ask what you're gonna do, what people are gonna do without me, but they have the best version of me right here in this show. You are all of the best parts of the work that I did, and you need to know that and move forward with that knowledge.
But, Professor, I can't hold a candle to you.
Hold a lantern, then.
I don't have a horse.
Maybe a flashlight. You don't need a horse. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I wish I saved a copy of the letter that I wrote back, but I don't remember it, and...
Professor, I have it.
The letter?
Yeah, I keep your letter on me all the time.
Pete, that's lovely. Would you mind jogging my memory? Maybe the advice I gave you all those years ago might mean something now.
Sure, yeah, I can try. So, to Pete. Hi, Professor Pete. First off, thank you for your letter. Bright and kind kiddos like you are the reason I do what I do. I started my show because I realized that making people happy and feel valued is what makes me happy. Sure, I have problems here or there, but they're usually big kid problems that you don't need to worry about just yet. You don't need that responsibility. It's clear that you're a good kid, and you shouldn't have issues making some wonderful friends. The kind of friends who listen to you and make you smile even when it feels impossible. I'm sorry.
Okay. I cry all the time on my show. It's part of my whole thing.
It's true. If you ever feel alone, I want you to remember that you, yes you, are the reason I'm here today. So thank you, Pete. And my mailbox is always open if you need to talk more. Your value isn't determined by the things you offer to others, but by the content of your character. Take care of yourself. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Professor Buttons.
You know that, Pete, right? That I'm proud of you?
Yeah. Yeah.
For everything, not just the show, which is beyond any expectations that I could have held, but the way that you carry yourself, the way that you move through the world looking to help people, seeking them out, and help them when they're struggling, even if they don't want to feel fixed or... I'm losing my train.
Professor...
It's gonna be okay.
Thank you for coming on to the show and taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Of course, this was on the top of my list.
Before you go, is there anything that you want to say to the audience, or any last piece of advice for all the folks out there?
Hey, everybody. Welcome. That's what I say on my show, as you might remember. You can't help others until you know how to help yourself. And I'm sure it seems selfish to take time or say no to a party or sit alone for 2 days straight, but you can't give yourself fully to others until you are fully yourself. And helping people shouldn't take away from who you are. You deserve that kind of help too.
And before I wrap up the episode, Professor, what do you plan to do now?
I plan to go home, snuggle my wife and my kids, who aren't kids anymore, but they'll always be my kids, I guess, and enjoy everything that we've all built together, because that's why we built it, out of enjoyment and for enjoyment.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for being here for this difficult moment. I'm going to be working on this.
Pete?
Thank you, everyone. And
Pete,
yeah,
I love you.
I love you too, Professor. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks you for tuning in. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, it's so much fun to be someone in this world again. Oh, to have and hold a friend. Oh, it's so much joy to make and to destroy in this